Hello, I'm Carolyn Herbert from the Finance News Network, and joining me from Whitehaven Coal to discuss the company's first half FY2016 results is CEO Paul Flynn. Paul, welcome back.
Thanks, Carolyn. Nice to be here.
Now, you've just announced your half-year results for FY2016. What were the highlights?
The highlights for us really is a return to profitability. That's certainly the most important one I think people should focus on. Cash flow's been very strong. We put money in the bank, so we're delivering the company period on period. And an extraordinary strong operational performance backed with lower costs.
And Paul, can you tell us how your projects performed for the half?
Narrabri, our great underground mine, has performed very, very well. Maules Creek, in its first 6 months of commercial production, is already running at an annualised rate of 8.5 million tonnes per annum. So these two have been the standouts in our portfolio. The smaller mines doing their bit as they should. They're reliable, consistent performers.
Taking a look at sales now, what's the split between thermal and metallurgical coal, and how's that going to be changing over the next few months?
In this 6 months it was about 12% met, 88% thermal, but as we ramp up Maules Creek even further, this is the mine that's got the big proportion of met coal in it. As we get up to our full run rate of about 13 million tonnes per annum, we expect the group to be about 35 to 40% met coal.
And how have the prices for those performed for the half, especially given the current volatility in commodity prices at the moment?
US dollar pricing has been softer. The currency has moderated slightly. So $8 pricing for us is slightly softer over the 6 month period. So not a big change in that regard. And in fact, we brought our costs down. So we widened out our margin spread, which is very positive. Going forward, we think that for the rest of this calendar year, we're probably going to be as we see it today. So I'd say a relatively flat outlook for the balance of this calendar. With new power stations coming on in Asia, though, I do expect that to tighten in the new year.
We've heard a lot about debt in the market recently, and Whitehaven says it's starting to de-lever. What sort of message is this sending about the company's priorities?
Well, I think the clear message is, even at this tough time in the cycle, we've recorded a profit, we're putting money in the bank, we can de-lever. And that's a pretty unique proposition, I think, compared to other companies in our sector at the moment. It's clear that we've been able to manage our costs and increase that margin spread, as I mentioned, and as a result put money in the bank. And I think this is just the beginning of it. As we grow Maules Creek, more volume, with higher margin tonnes coming out of both Narrabri and Maules, higher than our average margin that we're reporting today, that will give us greater capacity to delever in the future. And
Paul, to those who are negative about coal's long-term future, what would your response to that be?
Oh, well, my view is that coal has a bright future. It's certainly the cornerstone of energy supply globally today. And as all the discussions in NDCs and COP21 and IEA reports have shown, they expect it to be the cornerstone of energy supply into the future. As I say, with the new power stations being built in our region in particular, using better technology, and the technology is aligned to the coal quality that we sell, we think demand for our coal quality, Australia more generally, but Whitehaven more so because it's better quality than the average, will be in stronger demand in the future.
And finally, Paul, what's your outlook for the remainder of FY2016 for Whitehaven and for the coal market more generally?
For us, certainly more money in the bank. So we're going to be delivering the business. Our net debt position will continue to drop. We're going to continue to drive profitability. We said that we can reduce our costs between $1 and $2 per tonne in the second half. I'm pretty confident we can do that. So our outlook is actually one of over the hump of capital investment now into operationalisation of these great assets. So I think a very good future. For the market, I think it's generally going to be flat. I mean, we're in a counter-cyclical position, I suppose, in some senses, expanding at cyclical lows. But for the whole sector, I think underlying a flat outlook for the balance of the year, in 17 looking better.
Paul Flynn, thank you for the update on Whitehaven Coal.
Thanks, Carolyn.